The CDC faces criticism for changing its guidance and suggesting people without symptoms might not need testing unless they're considered vulnerable. Critics are concerned that'll hurt contact tracing efforts. Well, this is hard to believe.
Fire officials.
Sorry about that, folks. Here it is.
Macaulay Culkin sending Twitter into a tailspin, playfully tweeting, "Hey guys, want to feel old? I'm 40. You're welcome." Culkin hitting the milestone earlier this week. He was 10 years old when his holiday classic Home Alone came out in 1990. Millennials are sharing their shock and jokes. One tweeting, "Nursing Home Alone." Another post, "Who had Macaulay Culkin turns 40 on their apocalyptic 2020 bingo card?" Kristen Goodwin, Fox News.
So I mentioned the mixed finish on Wall Street. The Dow was higher, the NASDAQ slipping from its record high. I'm Lisa Brady. This is Fox News.
Fox News commentary.
I'm Jimmy Fallon, and KFC is banning the phrase finger licking good. I'll thumb through the details next.
Capital One checking and savings accounts have no fees or minimums and a top-rated banking app that lets you manage your money anytime, anywhere, even from your favorite hiking trail. With Capital One's app, you can check your balance, deposit checks, pay bills, and transfer money from wherever you are anytime you want, even when you're cooking dinner. Open a fee-free checking or savings account online in about 5 minutes. This is banking reimagined. Capital One, what's in your wallet?
Consumer accounts only. Approval required. Terms apply. Capital One N.A. member FDIC.
So KFC is dropping the phrase finger licking good because it's not coronavirus safe. Although to be fair, anyone getting their health advice from a fried chicken chain probably has bigger problems than corona. I mean, if KFC was really worried about people kicking the bucket, they wouldn't sell us a bucket of chicken and fries at such affordable rates. 1 in 4 deaths in this country is from heart disease, with over 647,000 Americans dying from it a year thanks to our unhealthy diets. To date, the coronavirus has killed 170,000 people. And while that's way too many, I also see it as proof the Colonel isn't half as worried about doctors as he is about lawyers. KFC's afraid someone will sue them for saying they got corona after licking their fingers. It's a gross habit that could get them hit for gross negligence. So even though I think it's dumb to ban finger licking good, from a legal standpoint, you've got to hand it to them. Because if we've learned anything in these corona times, it's that we're all living on a wing and a prayer.
That's your Fox News commentary.
Accidents happen, but rest assured Patterson's Collision Center is here to help. Patterson's is a family-owned and operated collision repair facility providing the Santa Clarita Valley with premium collision repairs. Patterson's prides itself on being the only California-certified green repair shop in all of Santa Clarita. They are insurance claim specialists and even offer payment plans for your deductible. For personalized, friendly service, visit pattersonscollisioncenter.com or call 294-1011 and let Patterson's Collision Center help ease your worries today.
Hello, I'm Mike Lindell, the inventor of MyPillow, and like all of you out there, I had problems sleeping. Pillows would go flat, I would flip-flop all night long, I would wake up with a sore neck, maybe a headache, or feel like I needed a nap even though I slept 8 hours. When I invented MyPillow, I wanted it to where you could move the patented fill to give you the exact support you need as an individual, regardless of sleep position. MyPillow will get you into that deep sleep faster, and you will stay there longer. It's not about how much time we spend in bed, it's about how much of that quality sleep we get. I do all of my own manufacturing right here in the United States. I have a 10-year warranty. You can wash and dry my pillow, and I give you a 60-day money-back guarantee, so you have nothing to lose. And here's my best offer ever. You can buy one of my pillows and get one absolutely free.
Go to mypillow.com and use the promo code KHTS, or call 800-973-3927 and use the promo code KHTS. That's 800-973-3927 or mypillow.com and use the promo code KHTS.
The coronavirus has put us in a position of creating a new normal. Family Law at Home understands. Their goal is to meet you in the safest place possible, and these days that might be in your own home in a virtual meeting. Family Law at Home will provide you with immediate advice on your family law matters, such as divorce cases, child custody disputes, and domestic violence. It's as easy as going to FamilyLawAtHome.com. You'll choose your own consultation date and be in immediate contact with one of their esteemed attorneys. Family Law at Home handles the legal aspect while you and your family navigate the new chapter in your lives. Go to FamilyLawAtHome.com.
Your hometown station, KHTS. The following is sponsored programming and does not necessarily reflect the views or opinions of KHTS or its ownership.
Southern California, AM 1220, FM 98.1 KHTS. I'm your host, Fred Arnold, the special broadcast of the Financial Hour, joined by my co-host, Dave Cantrell.
Good afternoon, everybody. Hope you're all doing well.
And, of course, Patty on the board. Hey, what do you need to know? You need to know what's going on with inflation. Are we seeing inflation? Those numbers came out today. Dave, give some light on the listeners on the inflation numbers and why it's important to them.
Yeah, so what happened today was kind of interesting. The Fed came out, and they're really changing their whole idea behind inflation. We've always, for a very, very long time, our country has always decided that 2% inflation is a number that you want to hit. That's where you want to be. Now, to be honest, we haven't quite hit that number for the last probably couple of years.
What's inflation mean?
So inflation is basically you have inflation causing prices to go up. Your bread, your gas, your oil, the milk, coffee, everything kind of goes up. And what causes inflation is you have a very strong workforce, very, very low unemployment. So you have all these people working, everybody's making a lot of money, everybody's buying stuff, causing inflation, causing rates to go up. And that also does cause rates to go up. And so what the Fed will do to limit inflation is that's when they raise interest rates, right? And make money a little bit more expensive so people aren't
borrowing as much,
correct,
spending as much,
correct,
causing prices to come down.
Correct. And so they want to keep that inflation number about 2%, right? And what they said today, obviously because the world is in a different place now with the coronavirus and so many people out of work, they've decided that they're going to let inflation run a little bit higher than 2% and not raise interest rates. And that's because they understand that when the coronavirus when we do have control and people start coming back to work, a lot of people are going to hit the workforce at the same time, which is going to cause quote unquote inflation. But because we've been so low, we got to bring it back a little bit. So they're allowing it to run a little bit higher.
Yeah. So, because that's a question I always ask, core inflation. Right. Let's talk about unemployment. We had 1 million people jobless claims for unemployment, which is a little bit less. Was a little more or less. 98,000.
Yeah, it was last month or last week was 1.1. I think this week was 1. 2 weeks ago it was about 960. So yeah, it's a little bit higher than they thought. I think they were thinking it would be below 1 million, but not.
That's crazy because just think about that. 1 million people applied for unemployment for the first time claims.
Right.
That means if you look at all the people unemployed, it's 28 million people. Now there's a sector of the economy that's in there that kind of gets reported on. It's those that it's the pandemic. Forget what they call it. The pandemic. The Pandemic Unemployment Assistance Claim Program.
Right.
And those are self-employed people that normally wouldn't be able to get unemployment because they don't pay into unemployment, who are collecting, and that's 11 million people.
Right.
So you take 28 minus 11, you've got a number that's 17 million people unemployed, and that's a huge number. The interesting thing will be with unemployment is the PPP program. So the PPP program, the Payroll Production Plan program, was where you can get a lump sum 3 months ago to help your payroll.
Right.
So how many companies receive PPP money and were able to keep their employees on longer, but eventually they might have to let them go because they're not making as much money.
And I think that's what we're going to be seeing in the next couple of weeks is because that program did end a couple weeks ago.
The end of July. Well, you had to spend it with so much time. I think they might have even extended it, but
but that is definitely a concern of what is going to happen when that money runs out and they can no longer keep their employees quote unquote employed.
Yeah, and that brings us to interest rates.
Yeah,
interest rates are still very low. I know I locked in some historically low interest rates for me. Okay, for me, because you got to watch what you say. You can't say but I guess you could say historically low.
We say historically they are low.
Exactly. Yes. So I think I locked in about 30 or 40 clients at historically low interest rates recently. But one thing that contributed to it was the government's no longer charging for the next 30 to 45 days well, actually, it's for the next, till the end of the year, but we'll capture the next 35, 40 days, that 0.5% surcharge for refinances.
Right, and that's just huge, because we all talked about that, how it was really just strictly a money grab. It was a tax on the people.
What was it?
So what it was is, when we look at, I tell people this all the time when they say, well, they hear I'm a mortgage lender, so they immediately say, what are your rates? That's the first question that comes out of their mind. But they don't, but what I tell people is, when I'm looking at interest rates, when we're looking at interest rates, we're not looking at one rate of this is our interest rate. We're looking at rates from 2.5 all the way up to 4.5, and it's the pricing in there. And so when you hear somebody say, I want to buy a point, usually a point is a percentage of the loan. That's the price part of it. And what happened was, the federal government put an extra 0.5 point cost on every single refinance. So every single refinance was a 0.5 point more in cost, which is about a 1/4 point more in interest rate.
If it's being sold to Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac. And in our firm right now, there's probably 75% of all loans that go to Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac. Yeah. So overnight, you were charged about 1/8 to 1/4% higher in rate, just because the government wanted to do it.
Yeah.
Well, because of advocacy in our industry, we said, what are you doing? I mean, the people are going to pay it, not us. Right. I mean, it's going to be passed on to the consumer, like everything is. Whenever you tax something, those darn hotel owners, those darn bankers, those darn mortgage guys, those darn radio show hosts, let's tax them, because I don't like them. Right. And, well, the price gets passed on to the consumer.
Of course it does. It always does.
Yes. And so they repealed that, and they repealed it, and you should be able to lock in an interest rate with your lender, either American Family Funding or somebody else. I would say through October 1st, without having to pay that penalty.
I agree.
After then, you're going to start seeing that penalty come up, because their loans delivered after the New Year's. Or actually, after December 1st.
December 1st, right.
So if you're looking to refinance, get in quickly, because you need to lock in, I would say, by October 1st.
Yeah, you really need to make a move quickly to get this done, because as lenders, again, we know that it's taking 45 days for us to be able to get a refinance done right now, just because the industry is so swamped. So that fee is going to come into play 45 days probably before it's actually implemented, so we can work that in. So I would definitely, if you're thinking about refinancing, if you're thinking about doing that remodel, putting in a pool, or just accessing the equity in your home, which I think is a great idea right now, I would definitely call your lender or call your loan officer soon, because that's a move you're going to want to make.
Yep, especially American Family Funding, 284-1150. Yep. Area code 661. Dave, we're going to jump to a quick break, but as you know, I love the college. I'm on that foundation board, and I'm excited to have Gina, I hope I'm saying this right, Bogna, on, and she's the Dean of School of Personal and Professional Learning. We're going to jump to a quick break, and we'll be right back with Gina.
Great.
It's Christmas in August at Burger King.
Wait, are you being serious? There's no way.
Maybe there's a joke. There's a joke inside the bag.
We invited food reviewers to try the Whopper, but with a special surprise.
$5 for 2 Whopper sandwiches.
I'm going to leave before you change your mind.
It's Christmas time. Celebrate with a 2 for $5 mix and match deal. Your way, way better.
Get your 2 for $5 Whopper deal at Burger King on Lyons Avenue at the 5 Freeway in Newhall.
The city of Santa Clarita wants you to know that even though events like the Cowboy Festival, concerts in the park, Thursdays at Newhall, and the Santa Clarita Marathon have been canceled this year, there are still local events to attend, both in person and virtual. Join the community for Virtual Variety Night and an online comedy show and other events. Learn more at santa-clarita.com.
No contract pest control. Did you hear that? Yes, Unipest has no contract, low impact, affordable, and environmentally and family friendly pest control options with orange oil or other family friendly products. Whether it's ants, spiders, gophers, termites, or bed bugs, Unipest Termite and Pest Control has an effective, eco-friendly option for you. Call Unipest today for a free orange oil inspection at 661-BUG-7575 or visit unipest.com.
KHTS strives to give the Santa Clarita Valley all the information they need. And when our computers aren't working the way they should, we call Resurgence, your true source for IT. Resurgence provides outstanding customer service while also providing the highest technical ability. They strive to do what's best to improve and protect your business. For more information on Resurgence, call 349-4114 or visit resurgenceit.com.
It's David Cantrell.
And Fred Arnold.
Fred, so with rates where they are, it's got to be a great time to purchase, right?
Historically low interest rates, you're going to lock in that payment for the next 30 years.
And it's never going to change.
Absolutely. So it can be your future investment. It could be part of your retirement. It could be a stepping stone for you, but now is a great time to get in.
Because rents are so high, you can almost do the same thing with a mortgage.
Those that want to reach out to us, please give us a call, 661-284-1150. One of our mortgage professionals are happy to help you, or AFFloans.com.
KHTS, your hometown station.
Good afternoon, Southern California, AM 1220 KHTS. So, host Fred Arnold along with Dave Cantrell, and we're also on FM 98.1 and online, hometownstation.com, Facebook Live.
Yep.
Well, you know, Dave, one of my favorite things ever, one of my favorite places ever is the Culver Canyons.
Yeah, it's
being a foundation board member for the last 8 years or so has taught me a lot about, especially as a parent to college-age kids and yourself, how it's like a resource in this community that until you see it, you don't quite know how powerful it is to help people get jobs.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and, it's ridiculous. Yeah, everybody around here knows COC. We all say COC is great, but you really have to experience. You got to go there. You got to see the kind of work that they're doing.
Yeah, and I've got Gina Bogna. Gina, did I say your name right?
You sure did.
All right. So she's with the Dean of School of Professional Learning. And this is the area that I like because this is where you the practical application. You can immediately get, and a lot of these classes are online. There are no costs. So welcome to the show. And Gina, would you just share how the listeners out there can get, free classes and learn a lot to help them in their jobs and help their lives get better?
You bet. So I always refer to the program that I oversee, the School of Personal and Professional Learning, as the best kept secret in the Santa Clarita Valley. There are dozens and dozens of free classes for the general public. The classes are not transcripted. You don't get grades. You don't pay tuition. This semester, like just about every place else in the country, we're 100% online, though we do hope to bring some of our classes back face-to-face in the future. But we offer classes in English as a second language. We offer math support for adults. This is a great new series that we're offering. It's your basic math skills, and this might be helpful for parents who are at home right now, homeschooling their children.
You wouldn't think you'd have to go back and take math again, did you, Dave?
Right, and I hear this more and more from parents. I mean, how do you factor, percentages and decimals, and these are open entry classes where a student can come in and attend the class for 1 hour or 60 hours. It's at their own pace and it's instructor led. You get instructor feedback. So that's just one example of a class. This last semester, we launched a program called the Instructional Aid Training. So for the K-12 and even the college system, students who require to have an aide alongside them, there really is no other place to get training to be an instructional aide in a classroom sitting alongside a student who needs some special help and works directly with the teacher in the classroom for that student. And that's a series of 2 classes, and it's all of about, I think it's 24 hours in length. It's 2 12-hour classes that's offered over a couple of weekends. And these, you're eligible to go work in a K-12 school district to be an aide. So that's another example of a short vocational training that we offer for free. Again, it's online, but we have a lot of other options as well.
You know, when I look at this list that you're talking about here, you know, that you just went over, I got to tell you, the thing that immediately pops into my head is so much of this can be used for, you know, retraining. And we got, we were just talking about, you know, we have a lot of people out of work right now, and some of those jobs might not be coming back, whereas this is going to be a great resource for people to go and say, okay, I got to reinvent myself a little bit. You know, these are going to be some of the areas that I can look to.
You bet. And, you know, the state allows us to offer these courses for free to the community, but it has to meet certain criteria. They have to be jobs, it has to be training where there are actually jobs. So that's a perfect segue that, you know, like you said, that some of these people need to reinvent themselves. So we offer a variety of computer classes. So, you know, the classes they're intended to be short-term, and it can either help augment your current skill set. So maybe you're pretty good with Microsoft Word, or maybe you know how to craft an email, but maybe you're short on Excel, and you just need, you know, or a reminder on how to do a spreadsheet and do some basic calculations. These classes can either serve as you know, a means to an end, or it can just perhaps whet your taste buds and transition you to a 16-week long course in a college course, you know, because we offer many of these classes for credit, but many times students don't need a full 16-week term, and you know, they don't want to have that commitment to having a college transcript. You know, a lot of our students that come to us in the School of Personal and Professional Learning, which sometimes you'll hear referred to as non-credit. We don't like to use that term because it maybe sounds like a little bit of a negative connotation, but that these students can get their taste buds, you know, get a feel for what's out there. We have career skills classes to help students that are already in the workplace that might need to augment their customer service skills, you know, personality styles, and working with, you know, your coworker. So
yeah, I love that.
Yeah, it's what's new this recent that we're requiring all of our incoming freshmen is to take a series of college skills courses, and a couple of them we refer to as I'm bringing it up on my computer, so bear with me just a moment. I want to get the name correct. It's called Money Management for College and Beyond. And I want to focus on the beyond here, because this isn't just a class on how to manage money while you're in college, but it's really basic financial literacy, how to manage a bank account, how to write a check, how to negotiate a credit card. When is it good to have a credit card? When is it not good to have a credit card? These are things that are not taught in high school, and they're not even taught in college. So unless you have somebody at home mentoring you in that, we have a lot of people who are running up debt for themselves. But this is a great class. It's short. It's, you know, just a few hours long. But doesn't everybody wish their 18-year-old was able to take a class in financial literacy?
Absolutely.
I think we need a shift. It's interesting. Well, Dave, you know, sometimes I can't sleep at night. We're doing so many loans and so much on my head. So I started perusing the COC website for the different classes, and this is the department that I came into, that Gina, that I was so impressed. You could take, like, it's a weekend class, or it's just 2 classes, and it was, you name it. It had a lot of the computer items, but it also just had interpersonal skills too. And how many times have we run into a young, right, Patty? A young college-age kid,
yes, sir,
who needs to just up his game.
Yeah.
And that's so huge. The other thing I want to mention, Gina, that, and then I want to ask you about what's trending, is sometimes taking a class like that, either on campus or online, gives you the confidence to re-enroll again and finish your degree, or finish X, Y, or Z, or do whatever you've been putting off to do. But it's so intimidating. I got to go to college. It's a big commitment. And I want to go back. And this maybe is the first step to reconnecting with the college. Would you not agree with that?
I think that's a good point. You know, even in that college skills classes that I was referring to that were requiring all of our freshmen to participate, one of them is on how to work in an online environment, how to take a class in an online environment. You know, even though we're in the middle of a pandemic and everybody's gone to online teaching, when we return back to campus, I think that if there's anything good that will have come out of that pandemic is that this, you know, some of this online training will be here to stay. Now, not 100%, not all of our classes, but think about these adults that have never taken a class online. How intimidating is that? So you could take something through the School of Personal and Professional Learning, these free classes. You could take a green gardener class, for goodness sake. We have you know, land surveying classes. We have, you know, like I said, customer service. And if you find yourself being successful in that, like you said, that can give you the confidence to then take the extra step, if that is something you desire, to go on and take credit classes and have the confidence to be successful.
You know, one thing that, just thinking about students taking these entry-level classes, you know, what if we incentivized, hey, you get $100 off your books if you take this class on money,
right?
Or on customer relations, or dealing with a difficult boss. They like to hear that, right? Right. And really, when you're doing a class on a difficult boss, you're learning about yourself, and you don't become a difficult boss, right?
Exactly.
It's interesting because if we had incentives to have our kids take this weekend class, they would, and our world would be a better place, because there's so much that we don't know, and that's where Gina fills in the gaps.
Yeah, and Gina, just, I mean, I'm no marketing guru here, but I'll tell you that, you know, maybe instead of calling it no credit, how about free education?
Well, I don't know if you saw or received, we sent out 95,000 brochures, 10-page brochure to Santa Clarita homes, residents, and the front says free classes.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's offered through the School of Personal and Professional Learning, and that it's really a beautiful brochure, and we hope to publish it again in spring. So something that we'll be offering that the class filled immediately is our personal trainer certificate program. It's a series of 3 classes. You know, one class is 16 hours, another is 36 hours, another class is 12 hours, and that's 12 hours in total. We're not saying, obviously not 12 hours a day.
Right.
But at the end of these 3 courses, you are prepared to go sit for the exam that you take through the National Strength and Conditioning Association to become a certified personal trainer.
Dave, you need to do that.
This is another example of how you can get free training.
Yeah, can I take that and not have to be training at all? I mean, can I just yell at people to do that stuff? Because I don't want to have to actually work out. So.
You bet.
Okay, then I'm in.
You don't have to work out at all.
Okay, perfect.
So Gina, those who want to reach out to you, how can they reach out to, you know, this department and find out more about the classes online?
Well, we have a real easy email address. It's freeclasses@canyons.edu. And then we also, if you wanted to take a look at the classes themselves and read about them and the certificates that are attached to these classes, that would be a website. That's our canyons.edu/PPL for personal and professional learning. So those are the 2 ways you can reach out to us. And we have, even though we're not physically here on campus, we do have people standing by those email addresses that are responding within, you know, if it's a work day, if it's Monday through Friday, we will respond by 5 p.m. Or the next business day. So yeah, you know, email us, ask us questions. We can set up a Zoom meeting to speak with people face-to-face and acclimate them to what it is that we offer. We can help them with the application process. and get people started. Yeah, we're here to help.
That's great, Gina. We really appreciate your time, and it's such valuable information, and I know a lot of people will definitely benefit for this. So thanks again for joining us. We are KHTS AM 1220, FM 98.1. We are going to run to a quick break, and we will be right back.
If you'd like to take your business up a notch, take a look at Elite Magazine.
Linda and Mo Hafizi, owners of our Valley's two leading magazines, the Magazine of Santa Clarita and Elite.
I'm so proud of Elite. It allows your advertisement to stand out. We distribute Elite to 50,000 homes and businesses. You'll find us in 1,900 local hotel rooms.
Discover how Elite Magazine can help your business. Call 294-4444.
Superior quality is second nature to us. Just ask our advertisers.
Honey, there are lots of new mortgage companies advertising on TV and radio. Are they for real?
Who knows? But we certainly don't want to be their guinea pigs while they learn the business. Yeah, this isn't our first refi rodeo, and we'll only consider a company who absolutely does what they say they will. That's why we're calling Owning, the experienced company we can trust.
Exactly. Owning has tons of great online reviews, and the copycats have almost none. Go online and check for yourself. And today, Owning is offering 30-year fixed refis at 2.625% rate and APR with absolutely no closing costs, no points, title, escrow, appraisal, or anything else. And we'll close your loan in 2 to 3 weeks. Just call 855-5-OWNING.
Owning Corporation, Equal Housing Lender, licensed by the Department of Business Oversight under the California Residential Mortgage Lending Act and MLS 1797976. Call 833-852-6464 for terms and conditions.
That's 855-5-OWNING or log on to owning.com.
Hi, this is Bob Sheritz with the Way Out Recovery SCV, reminding you that during these unprecedented times, addiction and mental health do not take a break. If you or someone you love are struggling, please give us a call at 661-296-4444. We are open and here to help you during this time. Thanks.
I promise I'll get help. It wasn't my intention. I'm sorry to myself.
Your hometown station.
Welcome back, Southern California, AM 1220, FM 98.1. KHTS host Fred Arnold with David Cantrell, American Family Funding. Welcome.
Thank you. You can also watch us on hometownstation.com and Facebook Live.
Yep. So we're talking about real estate this segment. Amazing guy. The reason why I say amazing is he's got his pulse on the real estate market here. And I would say in Southern California, Phil Levy. Phil Levy is going to share with you some information that's going on as far as the stats go and what does that mean for you. So welcome to the show, Phil.
Thank you. It's great to be here. I appreciate the invitation.
Absolutely. So let's jump to the state of the listing inventory. It's all about listings, so you can buy a house for sale. So if you're thinking of selling your house, what's going on with listings?
Well, right now, listings are at historic lows. There was, as of July 31st, there were 436 active listings throughout the Santa Clarita Valley. Putting that in perspective, there's about 100,000 households in the Santa Clarita Valley. So listings are right now very, very scarce. Putting it into terms of the number of months inventory, which is an absorption rate, that figure came out to 1.5 months, which there's only one reading in the last 15 years or so, and that was December 17th. That was 1.4 months. And December, of course, is you just don't expect a lot of activity in the real estate market. These figures provide great opportunities for sellers to move on, to upgrade their homes to new homes or downsize, depending upon the stage. And homes that are well priced and show really well are going to fly off the shelves, probably with multiple offers. Buyers are going to struggle to compete with other buyers, but there's alternative strategies for finding homes that are not listed, as well as considering new home options, which are coming up in the Santa Clarita Valley. And there's a lot now that are available, and it's going to be a huge amount over the next 5 years.
You know, what's driving this craziness? I know it's a loaded question because I know what's driving. What are you seeing driving this influx of people really scooping up these homes?
A couple things, Fred. One is the historic low interest rates, which are less than 3% for 30-year fixed mortgage. Actually, purchasing power has increased about 10% from this point last year to now because of the reduction of interest rates. So even though houses have increased in price a little bit, the decrease in interest rates have actually improved the purchasing power for buyers. The other thing is the COVID-19 has made people rethink their living accommodations. We see people with a preference to get out of denser living conditions in urban areas. They have to be able to work from home. They want to be able to have the recreation at home and entertainment at home. So people are rethinking their living situations completely right now.
So Phil, they're rethinking living downtown in a 600 square foot loft.
Correct. Where they can't even go outside, versus coming out to the burbs with, they have a yard and access to all kinds of parks and, great recreation facilities here in the Santa Clarita Valley.
Well, with that, Phil, that kind of brings me up to my next question, because this is, kind of the other side of that coin a little bit, with people thinking about moving and things like that. But if you're going to be selling your home, what are some of the things you should be thinking about before you're getting ready to list that home?
Number one, the home has to be priced properly. Number two, it's got to be really showable. It's got to really look good. You can get a lot of showings because the home is listed, but unless the home shows really well, is really clean, you may not get multiple offers. You might get weak offers. So showability is really important as well. A seller should also consider their transition plan. So if they're moving out of the state or upgrading or downsizing but staying put, they still need to realize that someone's going to want to move in their home at the close of escrow, and they need a place to go.
Right.
There's always a contingent offer where an offer is written contingent upon the seller finding their home of choice. That's pretty common, but it makes for a more complicated escrow process. They can do a rent back. They can move out temporarily. And they just need to consider how are they going to transition from the home they're in to the next home. They also have to be.
Go ahead, Phil.
Sorry?
I'm sorry. I want to ask you something.
They also have to make sure that they know how they're going to vet the buyer that's going to come in to buy the home, because you do not want to go through an escrow process with a weak buyer.
I want to ask you about that, because, buyers are trying to buy homes. And one of the things I keep telling agents to do, and I know, Phil, you do this every time, is find out, you're bidding with 5 other people on this home, let's say. Mm-hmm. They're typically, other than price, something that seller needs. Close in 20 days, or close in 20 days, but a rent back for 30 days. I think one of the most important things you need to do as a buyer is to find out exactly what the seller's looking for. And as a seller, let the buyer know how you can make the offer better by accommodating my move, by accommodating a rent back, by accommodating X, Y, or Z. And I know that's negotiation 101, but finding that out is really important, isn't it?
Oh, it is, and it can make the difference between accepting one offer versus another offer is the ability and willingness of the buyer to accommodate the transition requirements of the seller, as well as the strength of the buyer's financial credentials. So this includes producing a pre-authorization letter from a terrific lender like American Family Funding and you guys, and having that pre-authorization ready to go to where they can close escrow confidently within, say, 30 days.
Yeah.
I'm seeing anecdotally situations where other lenders come in and they just kind of take their own sweet time to get the deal closed, and they don't get closed in time, and which creates all kinds of ripple effects on the buyer and the seller.
Yeah, everybody. I want to talk about one thing, and Phil did an amazing job, Dave, last night on a webinar he gave for his clients. It's called Market Clarity. Does it once every 6 months. And the one thing he talked about was the number of homes that are going to be built here in Southern California, in Santa Clarita specifically. And, of course, half the people complain, and I feel like saying, well, you live in a house. You only lived in a house because It was built,
yeah, exactly.
and someone else was mad it was built.
Yes.
Right? And so, but I'm a pro-growth person. I believe our children deserve to have a place to live. We don't have to ship them out to Arizona and other areas just because there's land there. But there's one thing, it's called the velocity of money, and it's important, and I want to share this with Phil and get his input on it. And just because home values are going up, Patty, by 10%, Patty, values of homes go up by 10%. You think that's a good thing, right?
Yeah, you'd think, right?
You think it's fantastic. My house is worth more, which makes people feel better about themselves. Right. But there's something called the velocity of money I learned in college. And the more houses that transact, the more number that turn over, Patty, the more people are spending at the furniture store, with the gardeners getting their house spruced up, or at Home Depot or Lowe's or wherever it is you're going to get this material, right? The more contractors you hire, the more activity. It's called the velocity of money in the turnover. So I argue, Phil, that new homes allow greater turnover. The reason why we don't have turnover in homes is if you're retiring, where are you going to go? But if there's new construction building single-family homes that have one-story master bedroom downstairs, because that's the trend, you're willing to put a deposit down on that house, and now that house becomes available. But because we don't have very much new construction, Patty, we don't have anywhere to move to. So why would we move? So we're missing this one thing in our economy called the velocity of money, and that is only under new construction. And I believe that progress and growth allows that, Phil. And I don't know if you have the same feeling towards me, but the more number of homes that turn over, it doesn't even have to be at a higher price. Helps the local economy really take off because people are spending money. Phil, your take on that and thoughts on new home construction?
New home construction across the United States has been insufficient to meet demand, and demand is estimated about 1.5 million new homes a year in and year out, just because of the demographics and the growth of the population, household formation. For the last 10 years, it's been running about 1 million.
People are actually getting married now, and our kids
People
are starting
get married, they have babies. And the beat goes on, right?
But they're starting to
the last 10 years, we've only been building about 1 million. Now, for the last couple of months, we're running at 1.5 million month annual pace of new homes, but we really need to get that up to 1.8 million. So when you build a new home, it gives someone, as you say, Fred, the opportunity, an option to sell their home and buy something that they feel is more suitable for their lifestyle. So when a senior citizen, for example, has an option to move out to a more suitable...
Phil, you said it. I didn't. You said it.
You said senior citizen. Phil.
Yeah, Phil.
Right.
I was going to say more mature, advanced, smarter.
But it's a blockage. It's a blockage in the process. So people, when they can downsize, it allows someone to upsize or upgrade into that home, which opens up a home for a first-time home buyer, and so forth. So there's a definite ripple effect that occurs when you build new homes. It allows for the population to resettle into more suitable living spaces as opposed to being stuck where they are because there's no options.
Yeah, love that. Phil, we gotta go because we're up against commercials. But those that want to reach out to you, Berkshire Hathaway, how can they reach you?
Just give us a call. My cell phone number is 661-313-4717, 661-313-4717. That's the easiest way to get in touch with me. I'm happy to help.
Phil, thank you so much.
Thanks a lot, Phil.
Thank you. This is always a treat and a pleasure, and you guys do a wonderful job. Thanks so much.
Thanks, Phil.
Thanks, Phil.
Ladies and gentlemen, Phil Levy with Berkshire Hathaway. You've been listening to and watching online. AM 1220, FM 98.1, KHTS.
This is Jason Gibbs, the host of VIA in Action. Join fellow VIA member Ed Masterson with us every Wednesday from 9 to 11 as we interview business, education, and community leaders to discuss the current economic climate and how the Valley Industry Association can help move your business forward. Meet and hear from elected officials, big and small business operators, and nonprofit organizations who are the economic engines in Santa Clarita, and see how you can help your business and community thrive.
Honey, there are lots of new mortgage companies advertising on TV and radio. Are they for real?
Who knows? But we certainly don't want to be their guinea pigs while they learn the business. Yeah, this isn't our first refi rodeo, and we'll only consider a company who absolutely does what they say they will. That's why we're calling Owning, the experienced company we can trust.
Exactly. Owning has tons of great online reviews, and the copycats have almost none. Go online and check for yourself. And today, Owning is offering 30-year fixed refis at 2.625% rate and APR with absolutely no closing costs, no points, title, escrow, appraisal, or anything else. And we'll close your loan in 2 to 3 weeks. Just call 855-5-OWNING.
Owning Corporation, Equal Housing Lender, licensed by the Department of Business Oversight under the California Residential Mortgage Lending Act, NMLS 1797976. Call 833-852-6464 for terms and conditions.
That's 855-5-OWNING or log on to owning.com.
And now, a cooking tip from Keith Mowry from Bob's Country Meats. Ribs were made for the barbecue, but here's a great cooking tip.
The best way I like to cook the ribs is in the oven, cover them about an hour, 350, then put them on the barbecue for about 15 to 20 minutes, turn them a few times just to get them nice and brown.
Ribs, chicken, tri-tip, pork chops, turkey, steaks, even exotic game like buffalo and ostrich. For the tastiest ribs in town, visit Bob's Country Meats on Soledad in Canyon Country.
Your hometown station.
Good afternoon, Southern California. You are listening to the Financial Hour with Fred Arnold. I'm David Cantrell on KHTS AM 1220, FM 98.1. Also online, hometownstation.com, and on Facebook Live. We're going to take this in a little bit of a different direction because we did want to talk about something that Fred, as we had somebody on from COC because of Fred's passion about COC, but he's taking that to the next level. Actually, Fred is running for the COC Board of Trustees for Area, I think, Area 3. The Santa Cruz is split up into 5 different areas. So Fred is going to be running for Area 2, and I know his passion for COC. We've talked about it for many, many years. And Fred, why don't you tell us a little bit about what got you going on this?
Well, yeah, absolutely. So the gentleman that occupied that seat for some time, Steve Zimmer, what a great steward of the college and of our valley. Came up through the foundation, CLC Foundation, which I'm a part of. Also involved in Child and Family Centers and other charities in town. A great career in business, and just a very smart man. So I helped guide the college the last couple of years as one of the 5 board trustees. And so he decided not to run, and I put my name in the hat. And my passion goes so deep because it really started with seeing my children get a world-class education in K through 12.
Right.
Seeing the teachers at our All School District, Saga School District, and Hart School District, those are the ones we were associated with. Seeing the teachers stay late, seeing the teachers just go above and beyond, and my children end up getting 2 of the 3 are graduating from college, and one of them's in college, and one's aspiring to go to college. I just realized that education is really the foundation of our job, and a lot of the beliefs we have, and a lot of the values we have, and the leadership we learn in college, and the friends we learn in college. I mean, my old business partner was from college, and that's how I met you. And so it was because of that and seeing the opportunity, and then being involved with the Chamber of Commerce as the chairman. We had a great relationship with the college, and you wonder, well, how? You know, it's a limited budget that we get at the college. Right. And so one of the greatest assets of this college, is the relationship that the college has created with local business to create workforce development, which means that the college can help train the workforce. I mean, immediately, like, for example, they call it CNC, and that's where they have this big machine that's computerized that needs to be run by a trained professional. Right. And the college would partner with the different manufacturing companies to teach those individuals. Right. Now, it doesn't get any better than that. Did you know, Dave, that 92% of all first responders are trained by the community college in California?
I saw that the other day. I couldn't believe. I was astonished. I mean, it's great. It's just something you don't think about.
No,
but
you don't.
Man, they have so many classes there that people can go through and get unbelievable jobs.
The nursing program alone. I interviewed a lady by the name of Denise Light. She does law.
Yeah, she's family law.
And she was telling me the other day that the best paralegals that we interview are the ones from COC.
Yeah,
and no disrespect meant to, because there's plenty of good colleges. That was the reputation that they have. I was, and I'm going to post it on my page, Fred Arnold for COC, and she's an RN in Ventura County. She said her education has allowed her to get a world-class job right here and right now. And she's starting her career. She's going to be buying a house. And it's just so impressive. So there's so many great things that the college has. And I just want to be a steward of fiscal responsibility. I've had to be creative as far as coming up with solutions in business and challenges we have.
Right.
Especially seeing the crash of 2008 in our industry.
Yeah.
And I want to share that same inquisitiveness, if you will, on success, and hopefully be a great leader, much like the leaders that are some of the leaders. Michael Berger is a great leader on the board. Michelle Jenkins is a great leader. Steve Zimmer is a great leader. Scott Wilk was a great leader until he moved on to the Senate, the Assembly and the Senate. So I want to be a part of that tradition. There's quite a few people that have really led to that. Bruce Fortine. So that's my passion.
Yeah, and I know that you've been a wonderful business leader out here in the Valley for a very long time, and I know again, knowing you as well as I do, having people find jobs is so important to you, and I think we forget that sometimes when we're talking about college, that's ultimately the idea, is going to college so you can get a great job. Yeah. And I know that's something that's going to be very important to you, is helping that transition, because a lot of times it gets forgotten.
And you know what's interesting, and I'll just share this real quick, there's a lot of people that transfer to UC schools from COC.
Absolutely.
The transfer rate is amazing.
It's huge.
So that's a great thing.
Yeah.
You have the University Center. We can go on and on.
Yeah.
But
before we go, the one thing, it's Fred Arnold the number 4 COC.
COC, yeah.
Fred Arnold, number 4 COC.com.
Yeah, and I'd love to get your support. If you know me, that'd be great. So, Patty, we're moving on, huh?
Yes, sir. Moving on up.
Great job on the show, Fred Arnold, Dave Cantrell. This is a special edition of the special broadcast, Financial Hour. You've been listening to AM 1220, FM 98.1, KHTS. We'll see you next week.
Thanks, guys. This is Jill from the Santa Clarita Grocery, the all-volunteer grocery program.